So Bethesda finally revealed actual gameplay footage and gave more information about many of the mechanics of Starfield. Most, if not all of you, likely seen their 15-minute gameplay trailer, but other information has also been revealed outside the showcase. Let's talk about Starfield. So in many respects, Bethesda is keeping to their method of game design. Open world, or in this case open worlds, with lots in the way of freedom and choice. Freedom being something they continuously expressed. We've seen combat, snippets of the story, character creation, and customization. Many have compared the combat to Fallout 4, oftentimes citing it as Fallout 4 in space. The reaction isn't that surprising. Fallout 3 had quite a bit of Oblivion's DNA inside of it, and people called Fallout 3 Oblivion with guns. Some have stated that the combat animations even look pretty similar to Fallout 4's. Maybe, maybe not, I haven't really compared the two. Still, it's possible there's some reused content that made their way into Starfield, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Why fix what's not broken? But I do know that it does bother some. Speaking of combat, we got a few good looks at the creatures of Starfield, including a type of floater. Kinda makes me wonder if the floaters in Fallout 76 were inspired by these guys. After all, the original floaters in classic Fallout were pretty different. Regardless, Bethesda does seem to really love using the same type of enemies, just repackaged in a different way. Mud crabs in Elder Scrolls, Mirelurks in Fallout, and now the Creech Stalker in Starfield. Though they might be passive, the ones in what I assume is the tutorial mission were, though not sure about all of them. I wouldn't be surprised if we had to fight them. But even beyond combat, the settlement system is coming back. Well, outpost system here. I'm sure a lot of us have predicted such. It was a popular feature in Fallout 4, and definitely is at home in a game about discovering planets. Plus, I kind of felt like the introduction of it in Fallout 4 was a test run for Starfield. Anyways, it looks like you have a Sims-like method of building, and not just have to do everything in first person. Which I'm pretty happy about myself. I'll be honest, I found the first person only thing pretty tedious. Perhaps the biggest, more interesting feature is the ability to customize your spaceship, not just looks, but also the performance.
Because yes, you can fly it.
Go into space, fight other ships. It reminds me of Spore in a way, though obviously a lot more advanced. Man, I want Spore too. Anyway, I'm pretty excited to play with this feature. Some people didn't think flying your ship was going to be a thing, since Bethesda doesn't really do much in the way of vehicles. But truthfully, space removes a lot of the problems when it comes to physics. Still, we'll have to see how fun the spaceflight is when we finally get our hands on it. Todsworth also claims we'll be able to explore over 1,000 planets, most of which is procedurally generated. I'll get more into that in a bit. On the more subtle but still very important side, I'm quite happy to see traits, a chosen perk at character creation that usually comes with both a positive and negative effect. This was something that was curiously missing from Fallout 3, 4, and 76, but present in 1, 2, and New Vegas. I brought this up a number of weeks ago on my Discord server, and noted how Morrowind and Oblivion has something similar to traits with birth signs, though Skyrim didn't. And now Starfield has them, and you can even have 3 different traits. Very, very pleased by this. I hope this is a sign that the future Fallout entries, whenever we get them, have traits as well. In addition, having the ability to choose a background is quite welcome. This is something that I enjoyed in Mass Effect. In the case of Starfield, they give you a few starting skills, affecting things like carry weight and weapon type damage. Also, at least one NPC will acknowledge your background history, which is nice to know.
It says here you spent some time as a diplomat. Having a way with words might prove useful.
That said, it looks like skills are trying to blend the Fallout 4 perk system with the Elder Scrolls skill system. Reach a new skill rank by repeating an action and complete a specific requirement or challenge. Important to note that Bethesda has recently acknowledged that your character is going to be silent. I guess the backlash from Fallout 4 having a voice protagonist encouraged this design choice. Lowering the price of voice acting expense probably also helped. I'm a little surprised by this because I was pretty certain that the voice protagonist thing was a test run for Starfield, though maybe I was just drawing way too many comparisons to Mass Effect in my mind. Other confirmed things were weapon mods coming back, which is no surprise, and you can research modifications for different types of weapons. Also, you'll be able to outfit a ship with a crew. Whether that's through a management system or simply story progression is unknown. So, on the subject of Toddington's 1,000 planet claim, this has worried a lot of people, understandably so. It has been confirmed that many of them are procedurally generated, like most of us have expected. Would be a crazy amount of work otherwise. That said, while intelligent generation is a thing, we'll have to see about the quality. And Bethesda has used procedural generation in prior games, mostly to generate a landscape before handcrafting the world on top of it. While Todderson has stated this game will be using a large amount of procedural generation, he also claimed that it will feature the most amount of handcrafted content that's ever been in one of their titles. With barren rocky worlds, you can definitely get away with just generating the planet more or less as is, but an Earth-like planet would need more love and care given to it. Different biomes, temperatures, ice caps, that sort of thing. It's definitely more of a challenge, but I feel these green planets would likely be checked over with far more scrutiny than a planet that's simply a ball of ice. However, I feel the bulk of these planets will be places that doesn't feature too much handcrafted content. The planets that aren't the main ones, so to speak, not really story important or being part of a unique side quest. I'm expecting, and I could be wrong, but I'm expecting that these planets will be places that Radiant Quest direct us to. They'll also be excellent places to explore, gather materials, and perhaps set up outposts. A lot of people have been drawing comparisons to No Man's Sky, and while that might be a fair assessment, I can't personally say as I have no experience with it, and most of my knowledge of the game comes from secondhand sources. So I also did compare it again to Spore Space Stage, and how the planets could generate different types of environments, animals, spices, items, and some planets could be part of a Radiant mission. Another expectation I have is probably given due to the genre, but I expect that you'll pick up companions and they'll take a spot on your ship, kind of like Mass Effect, Knights of the Old Republic, or even Outer Worlds. This seems to be a pretty common feature among space-themed RPGs, and for obvious reasons. It's a convenient area to keep them, and won't have you hopping back and forth to various planets. The insides of the ship definitely appear to be pretty roomy, though you might get an option to send them to an outpost like you can send your companion to a settlement in Fallout 4. Judging by the term faction being used a couple of times in the showcase and interview, I feel like we're probably going to have a faction-based system similar to Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. This is a pretty popular feature, and I don't expect that to change for a little while. In addition, while I was originally expecting we would meet aliens because of the artifacts, I believe I'm wrong about that. I originally assumed that the artifacts were all of alien origin. However, Titanite dispelled this notion by saying these are old Earth artifacts. Why they're spread around to other planets, I have no idea. I guess part of the game is uncovering what happened to Earth or something. Feels like we'd already know about that, but anything could happen. I suppose there's still a chance intelligent aliens will be in the game, maybe shown midway through or something. If so, they're likely going to be hostile to us, but maybe we could have a conversation with them as well. However, I feel like this game is going to be pretty human-centric, which is fairly disappointing for me personally. I'm pretty simple. Game set in space, I want aliens. Aliens are cool, humans are lame. Overall though, I'm very curious about this game. It has a lot of interesting features in it. I'm wondering how a Bethesda RPG without any baggage from old lore or prior game expectation will do. It has some things I'm pretty excited about, but also some concerns. I completely expect Starfield to be a massive commercial success, however. Critical success is another matter. I have no idea. A lot of it is pretty promising, but the end result may not be as up to par as we would like. Regardless, I'm going to be one of the many YouTubers who will buy this game, play it, and give you some of my thoughts. This will be my first new game to give people who watch my channel my take on, and I'm still debating the best way to do that. Perhaps journalizing? No one's ever subscribed to me for any Let's Play, though that's still a ways off, got some time to think about it. I'm also thinking about going through a series of space RPGs as we make our way to Starfield's release date. Mass Effect, Outer Worlds, Knights of the Old Republic, 2 of those I've actually played before, and maybe try No Man's Sky 2 due to the regular comparisons that people have been making. But how about you? What's your expectations for Starfield?